Shalom, shalom, it's Fallen Yeshua. Welcome again to The Rock. And right here we're looking at my dandelion garden. Now, we have just harvested this, most of it, that we needed right now. But it spurred me to do a video because, you know, in today's society, you pay somebody else to do all the work for you. When you go to work and you come home with a paycheck, and then you take your paycheck to the store and you pay somebody else for what you want. And what most people don't understand is when they're paying somebody for something, you're not just paying for, let's just say, the dandelion. We're going to take the dandelion root for this example. You're not just paying somebody for that. You're paying them to plant it, grow it, pick it, water it, provide nutrients for it, and then transport it, wash it, transport it again, dehydrate it, box it, ship it to the stores, and then you finally pick it up from there. So I'm just doing a little price comparison, because people always say things like, well, it's expensive, homesteading is. Well, yeah, the initial investment is going to be, but that's the way it is for most things. For most things in life, the initial investment is going to cost you something. We have no problem paying the initial investment for our apartment, which is the deposit and the first and last month's rent. We have no problem paying that. But when it comes to in any way becoming self-sufficient or independent, as much as we possibly can from the system, we have a problem with that. So, excuse me, we're going to run over some numbers. Dandelion root. You know, I took, because we were harvesting it. I found the cheapest that I could find at Walmart. It's called Traditional Medicinals Organic Dandelion Root Tea. 16 8-ounce tea bags for $5. $5 for 16 8-ounce tea bags. Well, if you drink, and I looked at this up also, the average person that drinks dandelion tea drinks about 2 tea bags a day. 2 tea bags a day, which means your 16 bags will be gone in 8 days. So I divided 365 by 8 days per box of tea, and that's going to be 45.62 boxes of tea you will drink over the course of 1 year. Multiply that 45.62 times 5, and you have $228.10 a year on dandelion tea. And that's just the tea bags. That's just the dandelion root. That is not including the leaves. There's a whole nother calculation. I looked that one up also. For about 8 ounces of dandelion leaves, it costs about $3 for 8 ounces. So, but for this equation, we're not talking about the leaves. We're just talking about the root. That's $228.10 a year that people spend on dandelion root tea. Let's just say you do 1 bag, so that's $114.05. $114.05 for 1 bag a day, $228.10 for 2 bags a day. Meanwhile, you could just grow it and save yourself every year. If you drank 2 bags, $228. So you could roughly save yourself, $456.20 for 2 years? Now, I planted this 3 years ago, and I have not watered it. In fact, I haven't done anything. I think I come here once a year and I pour about 5 gallons of my rock produced here on the rock, chicken compost. And this is after we've harvested, all that we need. I'm sure that they'll say we haven't. We've harvested all that we need. Look at those leaves. All that we need. And look at that nice little wolf spider right there. See him chilling in there? Yeah. Nice little wolf spider. We've harvested all we need, and this is what we have left. So I could very easily sell this if I wanted to. I could very easily sell it. I could very easily, and just the root. $228 for just the root for 1 year of tea, drinking 2 tea bags a day. So if I came to you right now and said, here's $200, because some people are going to say, well, it's only $200, no big deal. So if I came to you right now with $200 and said, here you go. Are you going to say no? It's no big deal? Or you're going to say yes. And this is just dandelion root. This is not even the greens. I didn't look up to see how many, ounces of greens people eat a dandelion per week. Those that eat it. This is not, you can do this equation. We're going to do this equation with several other things. We'll do it with some, basil. We'll do it with some Swiss chard, some lettuce. This is stuff that is being produced year after year, and I'm doing nothing. And this is enough dandelion. And that's for one person, $220 for one person. This just goes to show you the benefit of this life. Literally, I could, and this is going to come back year after year. I'm actually going to convert this whole section into a couple of raised beds. And I'm not worried about disturbing the soil because there's so many seeds that have dropped in here that it's going to come back heavily. And again, this has not been watered whatsoever. You can see how dry the soil is. I haven't watered this all year. If it doesn't rain, it'll die back a little bit. So if it doesn't rain and it looks like we're not going to be getting rain, we'll harvest most of it. And then when it rains, it starts shooting back up new greens. And I want you to think about that. This is just one thing. You could do this with, and we're going to do it, but you could do this with almost anything. You can do it with garlic. We may do a price comparison on garlic, buying it from the store versus producing it yourself. At the end of 10 years, that's over $2,000 on dandelion root that I'm not doing anything for. It'll just come back year after year. So when you look at the initial investment that you're putting in, how about green onions? Let's go look at what I call Hebrew walking onions. I know they call them Egyptian, but I'm calling them Hebrew. Year after year, I do nothing. I do nothing, and this is what we get year after year after year after year after year after year after year. We planted this garden the first year we got here. So the land is producing, and I can turn around and sell those. I've sold countless bulbils this year already of Hebrew walking onions. The bulbils, the little balls that grow on the top of the onion when it goes to seed. So there is actually money to be made from your homestead. And out here, where I am, there is there's been a big vacuum created because, some of the bigger producers stopped dealing of vegetables, stopped doing out here. So a lot of the stores that, I guess I call them local, they're not really local in the distance between me and them, but the grocery stores, those small little country stores, they buy their produce locally. Their produce is bought locally. So I could actually grow, which is one of the reasons why I'm doing so many raised beds, is because that's what I'm doing, growing and selling. One of the most secure job markets, I would say, over almost every other market is food. At the end of the day, everybody has to eat. So with a piece of land, with a little bit of work, you could produce food. You could have an 8-hour job if you wanted to, making your $20 an hour, and then come home and invest another 4 to 5 hours a day on your homestead until you get to the point where you don't even have to go to work anymore in the system. You can produce everything. You're cutting your costs because you can produce enough food to eat and produce so much more that you're storing and selling. I don't know many people that would turn their head and say no to $200 being given to them. So just think about that. And this is just one thing. This is just one odd thing. Dandelion root, green onions. There's so many things that you can grow that come back year after year that you put minimal work into. That you could save yourself, literally, every year. You could literally save yourself thousands of dollars And a lot of these things will just come back. You don't have to go in there and plant. And if you think about the things that you plant, we want to talk about those, like some of those greens. Those made it through the frost. They were just some extra seedlings that I had from my other main gardens I just threw in here. And now these are all going to be turned to raised beds. You can see the raised beds up there, and they'll be coming all the way down this hill. Think about fruit. You plant it, you wait, you're patient, you feed it, and before you know it, instead of going out there and buying, apples at $2 a pound, you're producing your own apples. Instead of buying elderberries at however much they are per pound, goji berries at however much they are per pound, you can produce them yourself on your own property. And you're saving yourself countless amounts of dollars. Garlic. I'm choosing odd things because we always have place. There's always going to be place for greens. Okra. And then, hey, you produce extra seeds, you sell the seeds. But the idea that people say that, it's just not worth it. Well, it's just not worth it if, finances don't matter to you. But for those where finances matter, for those that want to be independent from the system and are looking for ways to do it, especially, you can do this in your city. You could put a little area like this, if you wanted to, on your property and plant a bed of dandelion, if you like dandelion, and grow some dandelion. Grow some food. The problem is that we become lazy. We become very detached from money. We're more akin to spending it than saving it. We become financially illiterate. We become work illiterate. We'd much rather work for somebody else outside of our faith than to work for ourselves or the work for those within our faith, which causes the continual destruction of our faith. Just think about that. $218. If I came to you right now at $218, would you say no? If you drink dandelion tea or whatever it is, if you want to talk about mint, look at some peppermints. We have peppermints and spearmints and chocolate mints. Those two right there are chocolate mints. Chocolate mints. All right here. And just think at how much I'm saving by growing my own mint. So when we want tea in the winter, which we will, and during the summer and spring and fall, we eat fresh mint. But during the winter, all this is dehydrated and we don't got to spend $1 on mint. Whether it's dandelion mint, or whether it's chocolate mint, spearmint, peppermint, sweet mint. Think how much money you're saving. Again, this, when you're done with it all, when you're done looking at it all, easily goes into the thousands that you are saving each year. Bless y'all. Hope this is beneficial to y'all. And you see the mint has already started dropping some of its seed. Look at that. That's going to be more mint. Bless y'all. Shalom.